Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today we're looking at a Terran vs. Protoss. It's going to be between Noel and Bisu. Of course, I'm always a fan of watching some Bisu games, but this is more specifically because of Noel. So Noel, aka Wiko1127, if you remember that hilarious name from ASL, is one of our more interesting Terrans. I don't really have my finger exactly on how to describe him, but some of the things that you might remember would be like his delayed vulture drop while mutas are flying across the map that he used against Queen. Another one that I think about a lot is when he utilized 2 dropships on Retro against Protoss. That was like a really kind of novel approach. He's been doing really well on the ladder lately. He's practicing like crazy, so I'm definitely down to see what is Noel going to look like, and this is the perfect type of game because this is Polestar. They are cross spawns, so like automatically the odds of a quick push ending it are pretty low. So let's see how this goes down. Bisu doing just a forward gate here. Looks like he wants to put a little bit of pressure on with a zealot or a few zealots perhaps. And yeah, we'll see what Noel is up to. Is he just going to do a factory expansion or is he a gasless guy here? We'll see. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning into ArtosisCasts. I hope it's the morning, you're having wonderful coffee, or maybe it's the evening and you're having dinner, or maybe you're at work and this is how you're not doing your work. All three sound amazing to me. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. We're super close at this point to 70,000 subscribers for a game that is 28 years old this year. Is that correct? 28 years old? That's a little bit insane, isn't it? Wow. Thank you very much, guys. And of course, thank you to everyone who has subscribed on the Patreon. Patreon.com/Artosis. Very much appreciate you. Okay. So Bisu actually gets up here. It is a factory expansion, not a gasless, so the Zealot isn't going to really do anything. And he just skips being annoyed by the probe. I already like what I've seen here. So I don't know where he was planning to build a factory normally. I do know that normally you make a second depot here with this SimCity. You don't have to, but it's better than here. But he just ran the SCV away because he didn't want it getting blocked and harassed here by the probe. And then because the probe kind of followed it a little bit, he just pulled an SCV out and made the factory here. That might have been where he wanted the factory all along. But what he did was he avoided probe harassment as opposed to trying to just set things where they normally go. And that's nice to see. That's already, it's just a little plus. It might have just been what he wanted to do anyways. We don't know for sure. We can't tell for sure until we see a ton of Noel games, but it's refreshing and good to see someone do that. Okay, so he tries to block this first zealot. Bisu decides to dive in, and almost perfect micro from Bisu there. Solid, but not perfect micro from Noel. Oh, and Noel had offensive evade down here. So he actually, it looks like when he scouted top left, he decided to go to bottom left. Now, I don't know why he did a box scout instead of an end scout here. Sometimes you feel it. Like your intuition, and here's the thing for me, and this is why I don't know. Because sometimes the pros know things about worker timings, and I'll hear it, and I'll be like, oh, okay. Like when the worker comes in. Like a good example of this would be if you watch Light's tutorial on center 2 racks against Zerg. He says, wait until your first Marine is done and send your SCV, because then they don't know what it is. Because if you send it and it finds Zerg first, they can tell that it's a BBS because of the timing of the SCV coming in, right? Stuff like that is really technical and like very knowledge intensive. So like the actual scout that I'm talking about where he decided to box scout, that might have been based on probe timing where he's like, okay, I think you're probably cross spawn. Like I get intuitions like that occasionally, and I don't know what it is that's lining up in my brain. It's like something that I don't understand yet on this particular one about when the probe arrives and what's going on. So for me personally, who studies StarCraft all day, I'm not 100% sure, but it's I would imagine it's something like that. Okay, anyways, let's talk about this actual build. Noel is expanding, and he's gone 2 mines with 4 Marines to do this push. I don't like this push very much. But let's see if it works out. Okay, perfect pullback from Bisu. Literally perfect. Okay, he's not targeting the... Oh, he actually got it. Holy shit. No. Well, that was the moment that everything fell apart. That's unfortunate for Bisu, because up to then... Okay, he's still microing like a god. Up till then, it was a perfect hold. He literally microed perfectly. You could not have done better than what Bisu did there. If they made an AI for it, it would not have done better. It would have done exactly the same until that Dragoon moved a step too far forward, dragged a mine into a bunch of his probes. Now, he utilizes this pylon placement. It's very easy to jump vultures there if you lay a mine when they're exactly diagonal like that. Ooh. Yeah, it looks like he's going to try to... Yeah, he's detonating these mines like you see sometimes and does reasonably well. And... Yeah, you can see Noel is trying to abuse this location. Ooh, he didn't get it that time. But it's not hard to make him jump there. Okay, crazy opener. Crazy opener. And Bisu should have, like, probably 4 more probes right now. He was super close to having, like, 4 more probes at the moment. Wow, gets another one. That's really good pressure at the wall. But anyways, I was talking as Noel was moving across that I don't like that particular push. How many years ago? I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, Light was playing around with that push. And I never saw it do good damage. I actually tried it a lot of times. And it's like you're relying on the Protoss messing up micro-wise. Because it's like, it's 2 vultures, 4 to 5 marines with more vultures rallying in. And it just doesn't seem to do well. Yeah. Anyways, you could see from Bisu. Bisu was going to hold it perfectly and it was going to do nothing. And then he got 4 probes with it. And then he ended up stacking the damage and getting more Dragoons. So all that was really good. Okay, we got to talk about this Reaver drop coming in. The fact that he already has a Wraith. This reminds me really heavily of when Flash first returned and was doing like heavy Vulture into Wraith. This is super cool. He has so many mines around. It's going to be hard to drop the Dragoon to block the Wraith. Dude. I'm getting insane chills right now. When you see that, it's like, wait a minute. So he just killed the first shuttle and now he's not afraid of anything? And he's not even making an add-on. Explain that part of it. Dude, if he only got that for Wraith, he might be my new favorite Terran. Because I don't even understand. Like, you'd think you get the Wraith and then you're like, well, now we get a dropship because we have the starport. Right? It's like, well, you have it. Just, you know, make a dropship. I don't know. He's flying this way. I think he's going to put an add-on up here. It just doesn't make too much sense. But if that's part of the plan, I love it even more. Because part of the thing with dropship openers, and I've talked about this many times on videos on this channel, is when you go dropship, you're so far behind in unit production, okay? So you spent the extra money to get the dropship, the add-on, the starport, and then you drop 4 vultures, which never come home. And it delays all your other factories as well. So you're just like really low on units. Dude, he's not getting the add-on. He's not getting the add-on. Oh my God. There's just not a better game than StarCraft. Are you kidding me? I've never seen this. This is so fresh. We haven't had a patch since what, the year 2000? 26 years ago? Seeing new shit all the time? You're telling me there's a better esport than this? You're dumb. God, look at this. It's going 4-fact command center on location after a starport opener with heavy vulture. What's going on here? I'm having a hard time, guys. I'm like wiggling. I have adrenaline all through my body. 2 Stargate carrier on 3 base. But his 3rd base is so fast. Now, when you go starport opener, Academy is always late. That is just a fact. Many Protosses go for carriers in response to dropship. Now, this wasn't dropship, it was Wraith. And he made up for the fact that he went for that in many ways. He stopped the Reaver, he took a super fast third on location, and he added factories before trying to utilize this further. But no comsats, which means he has no intel on the carriers, which is why you go carriers against dropship. Well, the slower production, the slower third base, and the lack of being able to scout it reliably. Sometimes you'll get a dropship in again and a vulture will see it or something. That happens. But even in those cases, your macro is stunted a bit because you went dropship, and it's very hard to counter. It's one of the best counters against starport openers, okay? Noel can't scout that. Bisu's on 70 probes. He's playing carefully at this point. Things have gone wrong for him in the game, but strategically, he's chosen a beautiful path. A beautiful path. And now the comstats are ready. Okay, so this is where we get to see Wiko's heart. Not Wiko, but Noel. Wiko 1127's heart fall out the bottom of his body. So he is making a dropship. There's one scan, and he sees this spinning, scans again, sees 2 carries already done, and there's 3 Stargates. That's a scary thing to scan. Because you need to make sure you don't move out too quickly. If you move out too quickly, you lose. If you move out too slowly, you lose. Carriers are the, like, main thing that Protoss can do that force Terran to attack. Because carriers are basically, well, they're the only thing Protoss has that outscales mech. They're the only non-spellcaster in the game that outscales mech, okay? Queens outscale mech. Defilers can be argued in certain ways. But, like, carriers are the only thing where, like, yeah, let's max out. I'll max out on the mech units I want. You max out on carriers. The carriers win. The carriers outscale everything except for a single Defiler. Okay? So they are, like, the strongest thing. That's why you see them on, like, BGH games all the time. And it's like, yeah, no, they kill everything. So, very tough situation here for Noel. But he's got 2, 4, 8 facts. He's getting science facility. So he's going to go for +2 after this. Okay. Good amount of Goliaths. Oh, did a little drop over here. Sorry, I missed that. But not too many kills, like a few. Bisu was at 70 probes. He's at 63 now. Thing is, 63 is fine. You don't need... Excuse me. You don't need 70 probes. 63 is totally okay here. He's going to go ahead and throw up some defensive cannons. You can see now. Because of this happening, he should put one here as well. Probably. And now Noel is starting to move out a little bit. Now, Noel is down still 20-ish supply. There are no Zealot legs. If you rush to carriers, you do want to get Zealot legs right after, and after that, you want to get Psystorm. We'll see if he gets into those or not. This was a very bad engage from Bisu. I'm not entirely sure why he did that. Maybe because he had the high ground. But he lost 2 Reavers there really quickly. That did not feel like a good engage at all. So that went Noel's way. But Bisu, this is very scary to see. I don't see a Citadel, though. He really does need to make a Citadel of a Dune. This is truly the moment to make that right now. If you're playing slow Zealots, it's so much easier for Terran to play against. Because the Zealots don't mean anything. So it's like, yeah, you just siege your tanks. Whereas there can be harder decisions with speed Zealots around. They can actually close and get splash damage from tanks all over everything, that type of thing. Okay, there's the Citadel. The Citadel, I call this a little late. Another Nexus being taken top left. I think that's a pretty good idea. If you spread out the bases a little bit, like, sometimes it can play in Terran's favor slightly. In fact, Mihu has a way he punishes these that I think should catch on eventually in the scene. Mihu likes to go for a couple dropships and drop the side nexuses when playing against carriers and kind of maintain the center a little bit. It's a very cool way to play. I've tried it. It's really, really strong. Anyways, you can see that the Zealots are being completely worthless. These Reavers, okay, the Reaver's adding pretty good. He's pulling back as the siege mode goes on. Got to keep those carriers alive. Not the greatest micro here on these Reavers. He's going to lose one of them. Noel's macro here looking really nice. Similar supply. I'm a little bit nervous about him continuing to go forward here. I kind of just want him to reinforce and then go again. Like, make a round or two and go again. It's really about having critical mass here. You want to have as high supplies as possible when engaging these lower carrier counts. Okay, a huge amount of Goliaths coming out. He is only producing Goliaths, not siege tanks. And he's actually just slightly low on siege tanks. A rule of thumb for these situations that Scan gave me a long time ago that I live in very oftentimes die by is having 12 tanks against these types of comps. So he's just slightly low on that, but still should be all right. Has a ton of Goliaths. Just fighting straight up with Goliaths here. These ones on the side are really not doing well. Like, he should re-centralize them over the siege tanks, because otherwise the ground army is pounding the Goliaths. And you could see there that the carriers actually started to reduce the siege tank count a bit. Yeah, so he's going to kill off every Goliath, which means all these tanks die, and I think he is going to not get the Nexus. I think just barely. No. He does get the Nexus, my bad. Okay. So he kills the Nexus. Bisu insta-remakes. So this is very Bisu favored now, I would say. Bisu needs to focus on keeping his gateways active as opposed to more carriers, I would think so, because he killed every siege tank. That's the thing. Like, you got to go back and forth a little bit to punish Terran here. That's like an important thing when playing against mech. The mech composition becomes imbalanced very quickly. That's not something that really happens generally with Zerg or with Protoss. Like, they're core units that are really good at fighting, like, hit air as well. So just having a lot of them works out well. But for Terran, it's like you actually have to have the right mix. Okay, picks off that shuttle really quickly. Kind of a sloppy move with the shuttle. Very few gateway units here for Bisu, but he wants to continue to keep the pressure on. Yeah, he's fighting, like, just purely against anti-air with the carriers. That is a lot of missile turrets as well. Noel putting out a very good game here. Not a perfect game, but, like, a very good game. 3 more carriers join, so we're up to 8 right now. That is a very scary number indeed. I love him spreading some mines through the center. This is really, really important. You got to kind of make it sloppy. Don't forget, the carriers are slow. Like, they take a while to move around, so you can just run vultures around and have some amount of map control, lots of good scouting, things like that. Okay, so Noel is on 4 bases. He does have 3-2 on the way. The +3 is a little ways off, unfortunately. Hey! Did I tell you this? This is a Mihu move. No, you need 2 tanks, though. Oh, he fucked that up. He fucked that up. That was a mistake. Oh, my God. Chills, guys. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. The carriers are over here. If he had 2 tanks, well, I think he'll still get it. Goliaths actually do more damage. Like, when you fill dropships, the highest damage output that you can get to kill a Nexus is actually Goliaths. Like, 8 Goliaths kill it the fastest, but they don't have the range, right? So he should be fine with this drop still. I think he should get the Nexus relatively easily. Yeah, he's right-clicked on it, which even that is not that bad. Trying to catch the carriers as they go back. I can't believe it, man. I love seeing this. This is not something that I'm sure you can find games where this has occurred, but this is like something I've seen Mihu do semi-regularly against carrier builds. Like, I've seen it enough that I attribute it to him personally. Haven't seen him against too many carrier builds lately, but yeah, I've definitely seen it in the past. Anyways, great move there from Noel. He snipes the Nexus. He's moving out with his main army. These turrets, like, will not hold the carriers forever, but they will slow them down. And, you know, a lot of this is tempo-based play. Is he going to send a bunch of Goliaths up to help? Yeah, if you send a group and a half Goliaths here with the missile turrets still alive, or at least some of them still alive, you should be able to push them back, and that's what we see. Now, the only thing that's missing here, in my opinion, I feel like the tanks should have pulled over here and pulled the Goliaths over to catch the retreating carriers, because you know you're going to force them to retreat. So if you siege the tanks in between the army and the carriers and bring the Goliaths over, you can make it very tough, where he has to kind of bring the carriers up to this area. Oh my God, I'm so excited. This is such a good game. This is such a good game. Okay, now Noel's coming forward. He's maxed out. So is Bisu. Bisu actually has a DT in somewhere. I hear him. Oh my god, he brought mass DT up. This is so crazy. Look at this. The thing is, so much is going on, he might not even notice. Okay, he does get the scan off, and he's going to kill every DT. Okay, so that was pretty expensive. Oh, no, there was one over there. Okay, it does get killed. This army does beat this just barely. The carriers over time actually can kill all of this, but the Dragoons have to stay away for now. 3-2 upgrades are done. That's pretty huge. Yeah, you just have to start picking off those siege tanks. When you get the siege tank count down low, just bring in your army to help finish off the Goliaths. It's generally the way you want to do it. That one cannon being a little bit annoying. Pulls back, catches the reinforcements. Really powerful move here. Lots more DTs on the way. Seems like he has enough scans. I just want to check that real quick. Yeah, he has about 6 scans right now. 5 or 6. Right, trying to pick some of these off. He gets that Nexus, gets 2 more carriers, but this army is dying 100%. He's not going to get the Nexus this time, most likely. Dude, what a game. Okay. Let's see what Bisu has left. Nothing, nothing. Getting low. Very healthy. Nexus restarted. Nexus done, but no probes. But he is sending a bunch of probes. Okay. Look at Noel. Empty, empty, very low, healthy. Ah, here comes that double drop once again. And taking a new base here. I don't know that he can actually hold this. I think this is going to get wiped, and I think that this drop is ill-timed just because the carrier's already in the area. He might get the Nexus. If he just right-clicks everything on the Nexus, he should be able to get it. No, he's spending too much time killing other stuff. And now the Dragoon's in here at his 5th base location. Feels like this is falling apart now for Noel. What a superb game, though. What a superb game. I'm actually getting chills again just rethinking about this game. I'm getting tears in my eyes. Like, what a game. What a cool, cool, cool game that we're seeing. But yeah, Bisu should be able to finish him. I think Noel just like over pushed a little tiny bit. It can be really tricky playing against carriers, but you have to kind of force the carriers to fight all at once or be really good at running around sniping nexuses without losing too much, right? Those are kind of the ways, and then you bring everything for one big battle at the end. And I think that where he failed here was when I mentioned I wanted him to make a couple rounds and go again. When he was winning some stuff in the center, I feel like if he had tried to come close to maxing out and goes again, he's just kind of staying at a critical mass that's harder to deal with for Bisu. Bisu here, you can see massing up the DTs. No scan. 1, 2, 2. So 4 scans right now against mass DT. Couple scans used, so he's down to 2 scans. Mass DTs with carriers, man. It's a real strat. It's a good thing. It's a good way to play. So yeah, the DT is getting in on top of all this. The 3-3 upgrades obviously doing fantastic. We haven't really seen any storms. The storm is not quite done yet. That is an area that Bisu, I think, made a mistake. I think he was a little bit late on the Citadel and a little obviously late on the storm, even though he's going to win this game. Yeah, the game is his at this point. He's got, look at all this mining that he's doing right now. You're just not going to be able to fight against that with that much mining. But yeah, definitely should have gotten the storms a little bit earlier there. Another DT in on top of the siege tank. Super annoying. You can see there's so many targets, they're not even hitting the DTs here. There's just far too many targets to have to deal with. So you're utilizing scans, and then you have to use another one. But the game's over. GG is called. Guys, that was a fantastic game. A fantastic game. One of the best I've seen in quite a while. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope that you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.